Have you ever really thought about how sentences actually fit together? Well, you can think of them just like Legos. They're all built from these smaller, distinct blocks. In this explainer, we're going to break down those blocks and show you how to see the hidden structure of language all around you.
So what are these building blocks anyway? It all comes down to a really simple idea, and once you get it, you'll start to see grammar not as a bunch of boring rules, but as this awesome creative system. So let's dive right in.
Okay, our journey starts with the most basic piece of the puzzle, the phrase. If a full sentence is the final Lego creation, then phrases are kind of like those little pre-assembled kits you start with. They are the true foundation.
So what exactly is a phrase? Well, it's just a group of words that work together as a single unit. And the key thing to remember is that every single phrase has a head, one main word that gives the whole group its identity. You can think of it as the captain of the team.
Now, there are a few different kinds of these word teams. In this explainer, we're going to focus on the three most common ones you'll see everywhere: noun phrases, verb phrases, and prepositional phrases. Let's break them down, one by one.
First up is the noun phrase. This is one of the most common types of phrases out there, and its whole job is to name things. People, places, ideas, you get the picture. In a noun phrase, that head word, the star of the show, is always a noun. All the other words in the phrase are just there to describe or add detail to that main noun. They help us get a clearer picture of the person, place, or thing we're talking about.
Let's see this in action, okay? In the students, the head is obviously students. In a good boy, the main word is boy. And even in a more complicated one like one of the best food, the core idea, the head, is still food. All those other words are just adding extra flavor.
All right, let's move on to our next building block, the verb phrase. If noun phrases are all about things, then verb phrases are all about action.
A verb phrase, as you probably guessed, is a group of words where the verb is the head. This is the engine of the sentence. It's the part that tells you what's actually happening, whether it's an action or just a state of being.
Take a look at these. In study English, the main action is study. For bake a cake, the head is bake. Each one of these phrases is powered by that core verb, telling us exactly what's going on. Okay, for our third main type, we've got the prepositional phrase. These are the little guys that add all the important context, like where and when something is happening.
So, a prepositional phrase is led by, you got it, a preposition. We're talking about words like in, on, at, under, with. Those are the head words here. Their job is to connect the noun to the rest of the sentence, to add those crucial details.
Looking at these examples, you can totally see how they work. In the morning and on Monday, both tell us when something happened. They add that vital context, and every single one kicks off with that head word, the preposition.
Okay, so we've covered the big three. Now let's check out two special types of phrases that can be a little tricky. And that's because they involve verbs, but they don't always act like them. This is where grammar starts to get really cool.
First up is the gerund phrase. The name might sound a little formal, but the idea behind it is actually pretty clever.
So, here's the secret. A gerund phrase is basically a verb in disguise. It takes a verb, slaps an ing on the end, and turns the entire action into a thing, into a noun. So it's a phrase that describes an action but works in the sentence just like a noun phrase.
For example, learning how to cook isn't what someone is doing right now. It's the name of the activity itself. You could say, learning how to cook is fun, and that whole chunk acts as the subject. Same thing with going to the cinema. It's the name of an activity.
And now for the gerund's close cousin, the infinitive phrase. This is just another way to use a verb in a really flexible, non-traditional way.
This one is super easy to spot. An infinitive phrase is just a phrase that starts with the word to, followed right away by a verb. That's it. It's the most basic form of a verb, and we use it to talk about a purpose, an intention, or a possibility. Here are a few examples. You might say, my goal is to be a great speaker, or he decided to study hard. Each phrase expresses that goal or intention, and it always follows that simple to plus verb formula.
Putting them right next to each other makes the difference crystal clear, doesn't it? Gerund phrases on the left kick off with an ing verb and act like nouns. Infinitive phrases on the right have that signature to plus a verb. The key difference is right there at the very start of the phrase.
So, we've unpacked 5 essential phrase types: noun, verb, prepositional, gerund, and infinitive.
These are the core Lego blocks you really need to build pretty much any sentence you can think of.
And, the best advice is to really get a handle on these 5 types first. Mastering them gives you this incredibly powerful way of looking at language. They're the foundation that everything else is built on.
We've covered the 5 most common types, but there are definitely others out there, like adjectival and adverbial phrases. So it kind of begs the question, right? Now that you can see these building blocks, what other hidden structures are just waiting for you to find them in the very next sentence you read?